Perfect. Perfect.
Hello everybody, Cam S here and welcome back to Chasing Tales. In this episode we are going to go hunting again with my dad to try to fill his final tag of the season, and on our way out we're going to grab the SD card to the trail camera to check that, since we finally got the trail camera figured out what was wrong with it and got it back out in the woods to see if there are any more deer out there. So let's get out in the woods. Not long after we got into the blind, a little doe came out about 5 to 7 yards away from our blind. And as you may have just heard, I was telling my dad that she was looking right at us. He wanted to put his gun up in the window, but we were trying to find the right time so we did not spook her. And if it looks a little fast to you guys, I did speed this portion up a little bit so you did not have to watch this doe for 10 minutes. And I'm not exactly sure if she saw the barrel go up in the window or if she just noticed something was different, because now she seemed to be a little bit on edge and knew something was off. And after hanging out here for quite some time, she finally made her way to the main trail. And I did find it a little strange that she was by herself. She did not have any does or bucks with her, which I thought was a little bit strange. But nothing ever ended up following her out. And just like that, she made her way off the trail. Just before these does came running in, I looked out in the field behind us, and two bald eagles actually came together and interlocked talons for a second. And I do not know if that's what scared these does in, but they were quite concerned about something that just happened out in the field. But I'm sure the two eagles with 6-foot wingspans flopping around on the ground probably did have something to do with scaring these deer off. And more just kept on filing in. And I sadly did not get this on camera, but shortly after these deer moved through, the bald eagle actually landed up in the tree above us and was calling back and forth to another one across the field, and it was quite cool to listen to because they just kept going back and forth for quite some time. But this did seem to have quite an impact on the hunting, because after this the deer kind of seemed on edge and we did not see much movement after this point. Like I said, there was not movement for quite some time, and finally we had a little bit of movement right out in front of us, but the deer sadly did not make its way to the main trail to give us a better look at it. And if you're having a hard time finding this doe, it is about halfway up the screen on the left side. More time went by without seeing anything at all, and finally 2 more does made their way to our trail. We were hoping that there was more than just these 2, but none ever followed. And I did speed up this portion as well, so you did not have to watch these does for very long. But they did hang out in this trail for quite some time. But as you could see her sniffing right there, I did not know if they were downwind of us and catching our wind a little bit, or if they were just still on edge from those eagles that I told you about earlier. But they eventually made their way back to the same side of the trail that they came from, so that gave me the sense that they were probably on edge from something out here. And sadly, the audio on my camera did not pick this up, but there was actually an owl that sounded very close to us, making calls up in the tree, but sadly my microphone did not pick up those noises. And just like that, they started to head right back where they came from, and that was pretty much it for the rest of the night. The later portion of this season has really died off for the action, and I'm hoping it's just because rut is over and the bucks have just moved on to a new location for the winter. I'm hoping that not all the bucks have been harvested this season, so that we have some more for next year. So I ended up pulling the SD card on the way back through, and I know I said we were going to check the trail cam photo at the end of this video, but there was over 300 pictures on the trail cam, and all of them were does except for 3 small bucks. I think 2 were 6 point, or 1 was a 6 point, 1 was like a 4 point, and 1 very small 8 point. So I didn't want to put all that into one video. I figured that'd be very boring for you guys to just watch me click through a bunch of does. Nothing really to get excited about, so I didn't want to bore you guys with that. And it was like 7 minutes of me just clicking through does after does after does after does. I figured you guys did not want to see that. So hopefully there are some big bucks out there that I'm just not getting on camera. I don't have the camera in the right place to get those on footage or on picture, or hopefully if they're not in the area right now, they'll move in by the season next year, because that would be very disappointing, especially after the season we had this year. I hope all of you out there have a Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. Thank you for coming back every week to watch these videos. I appreciate all of you that have subscribed so far, and come back for next week. We are going to do a Chasing Tails countdown video of all the top moments of this season, our very first season of Chasing Tails. So come back for that. We may have some stories of years past and talk about other harvests that happened this year that were not on camera, because I know a few of my family members shot some nice bucks that we did not get on camera. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button below, like this video, and I will see you next time.